Kia ora, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, American inflation is in the spotlight this week and will set the tone for markets worldwide. But first up, in China, we got an indication of just how serious Beijing is to restart their economy after the pandemic. China's banks extended 4.9 trillion yuan in new loans in January, well above the market expectations of 4 trillion and the largest amount of new loans ever. It is a monumental amount of new lending for just 1 month, 1.15 trillion New Zealand dollars. And for perspective, for all of 2022, they approved a record 21.3 trillion yuan. In just January alone, it raised that by almost a quarter. They aren't doing things by halves here and won't die wondering. China also reported January inflation at a 2.1% rate, although the rise from December was at an annualised rate exceeding 9%. Still, this was very much as markets expected. The producer price deflation, however, seems to be staying minor. It is not the case in Japan, where January producer prices came in at 9.5% higher than a year ago as expected, although in the December to January period they vanished. And staying in Japan, they're about to get a new and somewhat unexpected governor for their central bank. He is said to be Japan's Ben Bernanke. The government's preferred candidate declined the promotion, and the actual nominee has analysts searching for his likely policy preferences. On Wednesday, we get the American January CPI data, and it isn't expected to dip much. It was running at a 6.5% rate in December and expected to dip to 6.2% in January. But maybe the December to January rate will have moved up at a slower pace, possibly less than 5%, at an annualised rate anyway. Anyway, markets will be focused on this American CPI data for much of the week. In Australia this week, they will release their labour market data on Thursday and expect it to be positive, adding 20,000 new jobs. But this news will probably be overshadowed by the central bank governor giving testimony in their federal parliament to a largely unsympathetic audience, and who wants to know why he's turned suddenly hawkish. His 7-year term is up in September, and it is increasingly unlikely the new federal Labor government will reappoint him. US Treasury 10-year yield starts today and starts the week at 3.74%, having risen 21 basis points last week. And the price of gold will open today at $1,866 an ounce and up $3 from this time on Saturday. And oil prices start today unchanged at just under $80 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is still just over $86 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is still just under 63.1 US cents against the Australian dollar, with little change at 91.2 Australian cents. Against the euro, will also unchanged at 59.1 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at 70.6, and actually very little change over the past week. Get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.